So here we go, starting the level 3. Now, you're really, really close with being able to take those little phrases that we were doing in level 2. You're really close to the level 3. Okay, so from going here to our level 3, we just have to add a little bit more. It has to represent some type of real world problem. Okay, so we're going to take a look at this and do a little bit more practice. So write an algebraic expression to represent each word expression. Okay, so the only thing we have to do after we get used to these little expressions is to then put it in the sense of a word problem. Okay, so the quotient, we know that's division, of a number n divided by 7. Okay, so remember we have this word algebraic, which means there has to be a variable. And right there it is, n. Okay, so we can do n divided by 7. We could also do n divided by 7 with the fraction bar. Okay, 5 more than. Okay, 5 more than. Then if they told me something, I could put it in here as a variable. M less than 9. Okay, I want you to try that and see what you can do. So I'm going to skip around on some of these. Okay, 1/4 of a number. Of means to multiply. So 1/4 of a number. So of a number, I'm just going to use the letter n. And I'm going to smash it up against the 1/4 because when I smash them together, that means multiply. 14 less, I know that's subtraction, than 3 times a number. 3 times a number, we don't know what the number is, so I'm just going to put x in there. Okay. I'm going to skip 6. 1/4 of a number n, so we already did that, minus 6. One more step. Okay, now you pause here and do the 2 that I didn't do. And I'm going to keep moving with the video. Let's reverse this situation and see what we can do. Write the algebraic expression using math words. So this means I'm going to take 9 and write it out. What kind of math is happening? Multiplication. So you can jump to your list and say, what is a word that means multiplication that I can use? Multiplication. Multiply, times, of, per, twice, by. Okay, so I'm thinking of using those words. I'm just going to keep it simple and say times a number a. Okay, 34 minus m. 34 minus, minus m. Okay, what's this mean? Division. So we're going to use the word quotient. I'm just going to give you some hints because I want you to try this on your own. I think we should all be able to handle this one. Oh, this one might be tricky. 3 times a number x minus 5. Now you could say 5 less than 3. I should have really written out the words instead of putting a 5 and a 3. 5 less than 3 times a number x. Okay. Now, this 8th one here, I'm just going to show you, okay? Because when you get 4, that means multiply times what's inside. So we say times the quantity, then you're going to talk about what's inside the parentheses. Okay, so I'm going to let you fill in those blanks. I kind of gave you some starters for that, okay? So pause and go ahead and finish that. Now, I'm just going to do the first one on this, and then I want you to practice, okay? Milo earns $13 per hour at his new job. Okay, so we're thinking about, okay, H equals the number of hours that he works. And how would we represent that in an expression? What does per mean? If you go back to your list, it means multiply. Okay, $13 per hour. So I used H for hours, so I wrote the H. Okay, there are W windows on each of 8 buildings. Okay, so think about it. I have 8 buildings and they all have W. So that's repeated addition, or we could just say 8 times W. W is the number of windows on each building. I want you to try the next two on your own. Please pause. Okay, now this is where we kind of get into another layer of this. I'm going to work this one and we're going to see how you guys can do on your own. Write an algebraic expression to represent the total amount of money collected for any number of students buying school lunches that cost $1.85 each. So what we're thinking about is X is going to be our number of lunches. I like setting this up into the table because we can see the pattern that we need to get our answer. So if I said, how much did one lunch cost? You would tell me $1.85, wouldn't you? Right? You'd tell me, well, one lunch is going to be $1.85. Okay. Well, how much is 5 lunches going to be? How much would 5 lunches be? Let's think about that. Well, I could do $1.85 plus $1.85 plus $1.85 plus $1.85 plus $1.85. So I just added it together 5 times. What else could I do? I know it's going to be $9.25. But what do? I'm looking for the math pattern. Don't we multiply times $1.85? Multiply times $1.85 to get those answers? So if I multiply 10 by $1.85, I know that's going to be $18.50. If I multiply it by $1.85 for 100, that's going to be $185. Okay. Now, we're going to write over here the expression because what I'm going to do is instead of these numbers, I'm going to use X. So I know for every lunch, the math pattern was to multiply it times $1.85. X times $1.85. Remember, we're going to write the X on the right-hand side smashed up against. This is what we're shooting for. Okay. Now, this one is a little bit different. Let's talk about it real quick before we end this video. The cost to rent a skating rink is $215 for a 2-hour party. The cost will be shared equally among all the people who attend the party. Okay, so X is going to be 25, 81, and 108. That's the number of people coming. Okay, number of people coming. Now, that doesn't fit in there very well, does it? We start out with this $215 price tag, okay? So what do we have to do to equally share it? Well, if you go back up to these word phrases, okay, if I look at division, equal pieces, shared equally, do you see those phrases? So that's going to tell me that I'm probably going to need to divide 215 divided by 25, 215 divided by 81, 215 divided by 108. So do you see the pattern? Okay, so where does the X go in this scenario? Not first anymore. These are the X's. Okay, we always start out with the same number, 215. What are we doing? We're dividing by X, the number of people coming. Now remember, you can also make it look like division. Now there's some more practice sprinkled through here, quite a lot. I want you to work on this as you have time. We'll probably do some of this together as we review for the test, but I just want you to see how you can do on your own. Okay, good luck.